Get faster internet speeds for free when you get TV, internet, and phone. Ask for Trio from Rev.
Join the revolution.
Good evening, Bahamas. Coming up tonight on our news. The government's lead negotiator says he is confident Bahamar employees will receive their promised payout soon.
Prime Minister Perry Christie receives major endorsements for a leader of the Progressive Liberal Party. That story straight ahead.
Alfred Sears is confident he will become the next leader of the Progressive Liberal Party. That story straight ahead.
The latest test results following that gas leak at the Rubens service station in Marathon are out. That's coming up straight ahead.
Welcome to our news. I'm Christina McNeil. Thanks for joining us. Topping news tonight, despite growing skepticism over Bahamar payouts, Education Minister Jerome Fitzgerald, who was one of the main negotiators in the deal the government signed with the China Export-Import Bank, asserted today he is confident that it will happen by the end of this month, as promised. His comments come one day after Bahamar Claims Committee Chairman James Smith revealed that funds from China Exim Bank had not yet arrived in the Bahamas. Fitzgerald also took grave exception to claims that Prime Minister Perry Christie's initial announcement on Bahamar was misleading, insisting Christie has been nothing but consistent.
We have made it clear from day one that we, the Bahamas government, are concerned about Bahamian creditors. Now, the committee is taking in all claims, all, Bahamian and non-Bahamian. Some of those will not get much, the non-Bahamians. So there's no guarantee. There's nothing inconsistent at all. Nothing. We're going to take care of Bahamians. We've said that from day one. Nothing's changed.
One last question.
So just understand, you have to understand, that committee is taking in claims for all claims, all.
I understand that.
Okay, thank you. So please understand that, and please report it so people can understand.
Not a problem.
I hope I've been very clear.
Fitzgerald was also asked who is the lead negotiator for the government in the Bahamar talks.
We set out that they will be settled before the end of the month. We have seen nothing to indicate that that deadline won't be satisfied.
As for some who have claimed the government should have worked more closely with Bahamar developer Sarkis's Merlion, Fitzgerald says the government chose to follow the money.
The Prime Minister said in the House, you've said it again today, that there was no other option for these creditors.
None.
Creditors.
None.
However, some have said that the Bahamar developer, Mr. Sarkis's Merlion, his offer to pay all creditors is still on the table. The deal is still out there.
Never brought one red cent forward. Never. Never a letter from a bank, never a guarantee from him, only words. Never. Nothing. The government of the Bahamas is not working on words when it comes to this matter. We are working on money, where it is located, where we can specify it, and where we can see it. Unfortunately, Mr. Ismerlian has never, ever done that. Never. And if he can send you something where he showed the government that he is able to come up with a couple $100 million to make sure that the creditors are paid, unsecured, and that he could finish the project, then you print it.
Meantime, the Bahamar Payout Committee is slated to have its initial meeting with former Bahamar employees later this week. Two senior members of the Progressive Liberal Party have confirmed their support for Prime Minister Perry Christie ahead of the party's November convention, declaring Christie is the only man who can save the governing party from defeat in the next general election. Jasmine Brown reports. Jasmine?
Thanks, Christina. Both Maynard Gibson and Gray join a growing list of people who support Christie, as they say they simply cannot see anyone else leading the PLP.
And I firmly believe that he is the right man for the job. Firmly believe that.
Sears, who served as Attorney General and Minister of Education under the previous Christie administration, announced his leadership bid last month. Christie has previously said he is not threatened by Sears' leadership aspirations. The AG agreed, telling reporters she believes the Prime Minister has nothing to worry about.
Quite sure that Mr. Christie will win hands down, and I'm looking forward to him winning hands down.
While Maynard Gibson and Gray both agree that Sears is a good person, they say running against the Prime Minister is not a wise move. In fact, Gray says he would have advised Sears not to put his hat in the ring.
He's my friend. I would personally have advised him not to run to lose. I don't run to lose. If you're in it, you got to be in it to win it.
This is the first challenge to Christie's leadership since National Security Minister Dr. Bernard Nottage and attorney Paul Moss faced off against him in 2009. Gray says based on the outcomes of previous conventions, it's clear that Christie can't be defeated.
I wish him well, but you know, Mr. Christie is entrenched as the leader of our party, and I don't think that at this late stage, prior to the elections, the party is going to genuflect and change its leadership to accommodate Mr. Sears.
Sears and Christie are expected to face off later this year during the party's convention. Reporting from PLP headquarters for our news, I'm Jasmine Brown. Christina.
Thanks, Jasmine. Well, in the wake of continued support for Prime Minister Perry Christie to stay on as leader of the Progressive Liberal Party, Alfred Sears says he's not surprised, as historically there is usually reluctance to publicly voice dissent against the incumbent. Our Dana Smith sat down with Sears today, who says he's the best choice to lead the party.
Sears today brushed aside concerns that he doesn't have enough support to take the top spot at the PLP's upcoming convention, explaining despite the naysayers, change is needed, and the PLP stands a better chance of winning the next general election with him as leader than with Christie. Sears announced his bid for PLP leader back in August, expressing concern about the direction the country is headed in and voicing confidence he has what it takes to move the nation forward. However, since then, a slew of PLP MPs have come out to express their support of Prime Minister Perry Christie in the leadership race. Asked about this lack of support among PLP parliamentarians for his leadership bid, Sears said he's not surprised.
I'm not surprised because the incumbent in our system wields enormous power. The power to appoint to the cabinet, the power to appoint to executive agencies and corporations. And therefore, in our system, I think historically there has been tremendous reluctance to publicly voice any dissent.
So far, Sears is the first and only person to announce he will challenge Christie for leadership. Christie has vowed to lead the party into the next general election, but Sears said he believes his chances of defeating Christie are good, and the PLP will stand a better chance of winning the next general election with him at the helm.
I believe that as leader of the Progressive Liberal Party, I will be able to win the next general election. My sense from the polling that I have seen, my sense, and relying on my observations, my conversations, the PLP stands a better chance, a much better chance of winning the next general election under my leadership.
Than the leadership of Perry Christie?
Than the leadership.
Absolutely.
Sears said he trusts the stalwart councillors and the delegates of the PLP to make a decision that's in the best interest of the Bahamas. He said they know what condition the party is in, whether they've been respected and engaged, and whether the party's constitution has been respected and complied with.
I'm in this to win. It is a David versus Goliath struggle.
And you are...
And I am David.
Sears, a Queen's Counsel, has previously served as Attorney General and Minister of Education. Reporting for our news, I'm Dana Smith.
Thanks, Dana. Well, the results of the latest round of water tests in Marathon may hold good news for area residents, according to environmental health officials. This comes in the wake of heavy criticism of the government's handling of the Rubis service station gas leak at Marathon. Giorgio Stirrup tells us more.
After years of testing the water supply in the Marathon constituency, Assistant Director of the Department of Environmental Health, Dwayne Curtis, is pleased to announce that there were no traces of benzene or any other chemicals found in the recent test results. The latest results, which were received in August, come more than a year after an assessment and evaluation conducted by the Pan American Health Organization, which revealed that no Marathon resident was exposed to dangerous levels of contaminants from the Rubis fuel spill area. Several Marathon residents expressed doubt over the Baha report. However, Curtis suggested that there is no need for concern.
There have been no contaminants detected in the samples that we have taken. We have taken samples from the immediate environments of the station, from residential properties. We took a controlled sample from a remote location, and we also took a city water sample to see whether or not a city water sample was impacted.
Despite being heavily criticized over the Rubis controversy last year, Marathon MP Jerome Fitzgerald said in July that he has no regrets over the government's handling of the matter, which involved the delayed release of a report warning of potential health risks to some residents. Since then, health officials have conducted periodic testing and screening.
But groundwater is not to be considered a safe source for domestic use, because it's subject to contamination by a number of sources, including and not limited to service station impact.
Curtis said that testing will soon be concluded, and he is confident in the results.
So we have no reservation in saying that people are not adversely affected by the situation.
Reporting for our news, I'm Giorgio Sturrup.
Thanks, Giorgio. Still to come on our news, there may be changes to how the criminal justice system treats juveniles. But first, one MP falls victim to ID theft, and now he's warning others to beware. Plus, why we won't see an F&M DNA coalition anytime soon. That's coming up when our news returns.